So I'm just going to go over some mods I've made since I showed my last video, improvements that I've made to the bike. Okay, the first one being is a chain ring. Now, originally this bike comes with a 48 tooth chain ring. I have exchanged this, or not exchanged it, I've changed it for a 52 tooth chain ring. Got a brand new chain on it. Also, I have got a different gear set on it. Originally it was 7-speed Shimano. I've now got 8-speed on there. This has made a hell of a difference. It means your feet are not going round at 90 miles an hour when you're at sort of 15 miles an hour. Also, I've had to change the changer as well. This was a bit awkward because I also added hydraulic brakes, which made it rather difficult to get this all on the actual handlebars. Obviously I changed the BMX handlebars, which now means that you can't really read the display properly, but you don't really need to, because after a while you get a feel and they're easy enough to operate. So you know, it's not a problem when you're operating it. So you can go down the gears, no problem, and then you can go back up, no problem. So that's not an issue. Also, I've got new hydraulic brakes on here, which work absolutely excellent. Stops on a sixpence. I was actually trying to find the website that I got these from, I can't remember it offhand. I thought I'd taken a snapshot of it, but obviously I didn't. Yeah, I mean, you know, you probably want to look for your own. They weren't very expensive. It wasn't very expensive. I got a set of 2, front and back. They did come with a set of discs, same size discs that were on the bike, in fact. I didn't change those. I just bought the brakes, and I bought the calipers, and I'll show you them now. So that's the calipers. That's the new calipers. So yeah, they went on easy enough. The only thing I would say is the hydraulic lines could have been a bit longer than they were. I found these a little bit tight to fit, and I really had to muck around to fit them on. I don't know if it was my mistake. Maybe I should have said how long I needed the lines. I'm not sure. It's not something I've done a lot of, to be honest, so yeah, I was whistling in the dark really when I'm doing this. But these are is it Morocco, and yeah, they work extremely well. This thing really stops, I've got to tell you. What other mods have I done? Well, apart from the battery. Now, this video is because of one of my viewers asked me where I got this battery from. Now, the electric system on this bike is 48 volts normally, but these controllers are quite capable of running at 52 volts, which gives it a little bit more pep. And so this system is now running on 52 volts, and this is a 52 volt battery at 24 amp hours. and running it using pedal assist 2, I get about 15-16 miles an hour. And I know that's sort of legal speed limit anyway, 15.5 or whatever it is, but it gives me good mileage return. I get 46 to 47 miles out of a charge on one of these batteries. I've got 2 of them. I've got the one that's on the bike at the moment, and I've got the other one over here, so I just go from one to the other basically. So I'm never without a battery. So they've actually gone down in price, I believe, because when I bought these it cost me about 700 quid for the 2, but they're very, very good. Now yeah, the guy wanted to know how I fitted it to the frame, which I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to show you the battery. Alright, that's my phone holder. Just pop that there for a minute. Each battery comes with its own key. Okay, I should mark these actually, then I wouldn't have to keep, yeah, wrong one. Then I wouldn't have to keep working out which one's which. Right, so that's now unlocked. Okay, and simple enough. Now obviously there's not a lot of room because you're right on the folding joint and you're right on the steering yoke there, so there's not too much room, so you've got to be really careful when you're fitting this. Okay, so it's quite a stiff fit, so it's then tap it and then off it comes. Simple as that. Alright, here's your connections, hopefully you can see those. Alright, so it's well fixed in place, and that's your locking pin. You've got on off switch and charging port. Now I can charge this on the bike, or I can charge it off the bike. I can charge it through the original bike system, or whatever I want to do. As I say, it weighs 13 pounds, so it's quite a weight. I'll just get that down there out of the way, then I can show you the system a bit more. Okay, so this is the actual fixing base. Now as you can see, I've screwed it many times straight into the aluminium alloy. Here's your connections. Don't worry about this, this is the cable for the brake, and also this is a USB lead for charging my phone, so ignore that. You don't see any wires from this, they're hidden right down inside there. So you drill a hole through. Obviously you've got to take the battery, the original battery out, so you have to open the actual bike up like you're going to remove the battery, which you would. Now because it's such a heavy battery, and I do tend to go out and do a bit of rough riding on this bike, I needed it to be fitted really solid to the bike. One of my viewers mentioned that on my other bike, on my Whirlwind, when I did the battery, same thing as this, on that, I put it originally on a piece of wood, but the frame was slightly smaller than this. The guy said, well, why didn't you just put it on metal pillars? The trouble is, if you put it on metal pillars, you're just putting it on places. It's not got the full structure, so you've still got room for it to move around. Well, I think so anyway. That's my personal view. So what I did was, I took the battery out, the main battery out. I then took some of the paintwork off the top, and then I got some rad weld, not rad weld, what do I call it? JB weld. I've got JB weld, and because you can see a little bit there, which is absolutely excellent stuff. Now don't rely on just sticking it on with JB weld, because it's strong, but I don't know how strong. So then I got self tappers, and I drilled some starting holes, and then I put the JB weld on, put the self tappers in all the way along, and I left it to dry for 24 hours because that's how it gets its full strength. And it ain't going nowhere, mate. And I've been on some rough rides on this bike, I've got to tell you. So this is definitely not going anywhere. So that's basically how I fitted it. What I actually did, I'll see if I can open it. Hang on a minute. Right now, this is the original fitting that was on the end of the original battery. Okay, so I still use the original fitting, but I removed it from the battery itself, and it literally just plugs on to the battery, which I'll show you in a minute. And I made a lead up for this with the other end of the lead on it. I think they're called T16s or something like that. I'll show you the plugs. I'll show you the plugs. And it was literally plug and play sort of thing. Obviously you've got to make sure you get the wires run the right way. That is really important, because you will blow the controller up, let me tell you. So when you're fitting this, you do need to have a meter, so you can make sure you get the connections run the right way before you fit them. Alright, that is really important, otherwise it's going to cost your controller, if not more. Okay, so that's basically how I fitted it. It took me no time to do at all, so that was good. That was a bonus. So apart from waiting the 24 hours for the JB weld to set, but otherwise, I mean, I never close the bike up. I never close the bike up because I'm not bothered about closing it up. I never take it anywhere and it's closing it up, so I'm trying to hold the camera and close the bike at the same time. Right, so yeah, so this literally closes up, locks in, that's it, job done. Alright, so yeah, so that's how you do that. I'm going to get the original battery. Okay, right, these are called XC, the connections are called XC60s. That's how it comes. And the bit I showed you screws in with 3 self-tapping screws into the body. This is the original battery. Okay, it's 48 volts, 13 amp hour, so it's 624 watt hours. And at a push I could get, if I really took it easy, I could get 30 miles. But yeah, you have to really take it easy. So yeah, batteries in there like that. That's it. So quite simple. Just slid in. Alright. Now my son said, why can't I keep this battery in and run the other one on top? Now the only problem with that was because I use self-tappers, they come through the body about that much into the actual thing. Now I suppose I could have used much. Trouble is, this is really tight. I've got to tell you, this goes into the body dead tight. There's no space. You can see the rubbing marks there, which means that the screws would literally be in the alley. The alley's probably about a couple of mil thick. So I suppose yes, it would be well fixed, but you've still got to shorten the screws so that obviously they come to the surface. So I'm not quite sure how I'd do that. I mean, I don't doubt there is a tool that I could shove up there, which I could do. Obviously got the original charging port. Okay. I can charge through that as well, because this goes into the key mechanism, so it still runs through the key mechanism underneath. The electrics still run through that, so you're really just changing the battery. You're not messing around with the electrics as such, so you can charge it either way, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope that answers your question about how to fit the battery. As I say, it's easy enough to do. Just take your time. Being a battery, you know, you can't afford to mess around. Make sure you don't short circuit in any way. As I say, buy yourself a cheap meter so you get the polarity around the right way, so you don't blow it up. Alright? Yeah, and to fit the battery on again, it's easy enough. It's easy enough. So you just get the battery, slide it on there, and that's it, it's on. And you just get your keys and lock it up. And I bet I've picked the wrong key again, no doubt. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to mark these with, I advise you to mark these with paint or something, and then it's just turn it and lock. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so hope it answers all your questions. I think I went over everything else in the other 2-year update. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, it's important, and please subscribe to my channel. Take care, bye.